Hi, this is Kushi, and you are listening to Goonj, a podcast straight from Tis Guwahati, or right now, straight from my bedroom. I'd like to welcome you guys for our second episode after a quite long gap. Our first episode, I think, came out more than a oh no, it's not more than a year ago. It's somewhat a year now. So, yeah, the things have been tough for us. The goings have been tough. Basically, just as the first episode came out, like I think a week after that, uh, we were asked to evacuate the campus because of the rising number of COVID cases, and then we really didn't get to work on the second episode at that time. And after all, after that time, like during the lockdown period, even though we had we can say that we had free time to work over it, we really weren't in a mindset to work over the episode, and the idea was completely sidelined. We did think that we would come back with the episode during the um, online semester, the first online semester, when the classes had started for the first time. But then these said classes took us so much time getting used to, and like we felt a little too stressed at that moment to work towards anything else. And yeah, the idea was put on burner at that point. So after that, since we got the notification, or we got the notice that even this semester would be online as of now, we thought that it was high time that we come back with something if we want to keep the podcast running. So this is the result of it. And today we have basically a few topics that we had in mind after the past semester, because the online classes were not easy to get used to. I think that some of the things are still there that I'm not used to yet. So our idea for today is to look over the difficulties that we faced in the first online semester, and what we think could have been better maybe, or what basically were the difficulties. It's just our observations, not an exhaustive list. And I say that repeatedly because um, there might be things that you find that you think should have been there but are not there, or maybe you feel that these are not really applicable to you. These are just our observations, or what we observed from the responses or of our interviews. So these are not at all an exhaustive list, and just observations. We are in no shape or form claiming that we are an expert on these topics that we are discussing here today. And if you feel that we are hurting anybody's sentiments, we sincerely apologize, and we request you to reach out to us so that we can correct this mistake as soon as possible. Moving on to the list of complaints, shall we? So, the first complaint has to be the number of assignments that we had to give. During the online mode of classes, we really don't have much options in the way of assessments. So, the number of assignments that we had to appear for went up significantly. And while some of the professors were like, they did distribute their work over the time so that we didn't end up too burdened, others actually ended up giving, if not all, most of their assignments towards the end of the semester. So this ended up significantly increasing the pressure that we were under. Also, there's the fact that we didn't really have any idea as to what subjects we are going to have on what day. While we did know that it was supposed to start from a specific day, we really had no idea as to what would be the timetable of the exam, even up to 2 days before the exam. So this kind of uncertainty did put us under a lot of pressure, even significant amount of pressure. And of course, we do not completely blame professors for the pressure this had put on us, because even the professors had to adjust to the abrupt declarations of the change in deadlines and the way of teaching, because this is also new to them and we understand that, and we also respect that they are taking the effort of trying to teach us the best during this time. And especially if we consider the fact that we had significantly less amount of time to complete our normal syllabus, and we are thankful that our professors had done their best for us as much as they could. But again, this kind of arrangement is very much unsustainable if we want to preserve our mental health as a normal human being, because this model just does not create unnecessary apprehension. It also creates a lot of stress just because of lack of information and the pressure of deadlines. Because this pressure is on one person, they pass it on to the next person like a pack of dominoes, and the whole thing crashes down. We are already spending around 4 hours every 6 day out of 7 in a week working on the classes that we have. Of course, it may be that not everybody has 4 hours a day. Normally all of us are spending at least 18 hours in a week for these classes on our devices. Other than that, we also have our supplementary reading or research for assignments, or our whatever articles that we have been prescribed beyond the just the classes, which both require both time and expenses. And also we do have certain since we have shifted to basically working from home right now, studying from home, we don't really get the structure of a classroom. Like, especially for me as a person, I have difficulty in learning if I am not in the environment for it. So I need a calm and peaceful environment to be able to focus into what I'm studying. And this semester has been a challenge for me, because getting that kind of calm inside your house is very hard because of constant disruptions that you would not even realize that you're having, especially since we are on devices. So the notifications might come in, and there we are distracted from what is going on the screen. So that is also something that I personally faced. And other than that, we also had a complaint about our grading system. So right now what happens is that we get a final grade for whatever assignments and exams that we have given in that subject, and that is it. But we feel, especially during this time, because we are not being able to interact with the professor on one to one basis as to understand exactly what they want during this time, like we would be in a class, we feel like giving feedback has become very important, because we have no idea what we are doing wrong if we don't get that from the professor. So once if they are going to exactly tell us where we went wrong or what we could improve, it would enhance the quality of our work as well. So our next discussion would be about exactly how badly online class situation has affected people who are from remote areas or marginalized backgrounds. So there is no doubt that this has been a hard period for all of us, and especially for people who come from such backgrounds, because of the constraints that they have economically and because of their societal standings. So we had a talk with Kabithui, the student council president for the last academic year, about this very issue to get a deeper understanding of this matter. While we were talking, he specifically highlighted the problems of students who do not have regular access to amenities like electricity or data packs or electronic gadgets through which they could continue their studies. He has also highlighted the fact that in our current education system, it is not recognized that there might be some kind of familiar situations of the students that can affect their way of studying, or if they can even study. So a lot of families during this time have lost their jobs, like the earning members have lost their jobs and they are forced to seek for new ones, while in other situations even the students are being forced to pick up jobs while continuing with their online classes as a means of sustenance for their family. It is honestly, the fact is that it is very different when one is separated from the issue. It's not like you do not understand that your family is not suffering every day, but the fact is you are not seeing it happen. So you can at least console yourself saying that I am here in the college, so what exactly can I do right now to help them? But when you're already there and you see that your family is struggling to meet the ends every day, you cannot just sit back quietly. You feel like you have to step up and take that responsibility. Because of this, many students have started working, which makes the question of regular attendance a big one for them, especially keeping in mind that there are also network issues that crop up from time to time because of the increased load, because all of us are on the internet right now. Even though we now have a more relaxed attendance percentage, I think it was around 50% compared to what we have in college, that is 75%. It is unfair to these students whose studies are not the only thing that is going on right now. They also have to work. It's not an option for them. In such situation, their participation in the class on their side is hampered because they are not being able to regularly attend classes, and even if they have done the readings, they might feel nervous or anxious about exactly what they have understood. So they might keep quiet and not answer even when they know the answers which are being asked in the class, just because they don't feel confident about it, which makes them more anxious and timid in the classroom. Since they are not being able to interact in the class or not being able to join the interactions, this just sets them back academically, because if we are not interacting in the class, we are not being able to gain the best we can from it. Due to these reasons, some students have even been forced to drop out of education altogether, because keeping up with the pressure of classes and that of a job is not viable for them or not possible for them at the moment. So the situation is becoming like that. These students are constrained by their situations in such a way that constantly participating in class is not even a viable option for them, but they are being held to these standards. This has led to, again, mental stress, a lot of mental pressure, and of course issues like depression might have cropped up as well. Of course, we cannot deny that the institute has also tried, or it has taken some steps to ensure that students from marginalized communities or students who do not have sound economic backgrounds can still access education through providing laptops and data packs. In fact, recently a list of students who are eligible for these provisions has been circulated, and if you had applied for it, we would Definitely encourage you to check it out. While the student council for our campus is technically retired, the Joint Action Committee JAC, which was formed during last semester, has taken up the honors of taking up student issues with the institute. So, last but not the least, we would like to know your opinions about creating a forum with the same name as that of our podcast for the students to raise their perspective and ideas, to basically express themselves with full freedom while not infringing on others, of course. We created this podcast with the idea of exploring the different faces of this Guwahati. However, we feel that it might not be possible for us to cover everyone's view in a completely unadulterated way on this podcast. So, creating a website sounded like the best way to go forward to us. So, we would like to request you to let us know your opinions about this matter. You can email us at podcastgoonj@gmail.com. That is podcastgonj at gmail.com. You can even DM us on Instagram at tis_goonj. We would love to have some feedback about our episode, and you can just share with us what you liked, didn't like. Would you like it to be a longer episode or a shorter episode, whatever you feel like. So hope that we will get to hear from you guys soon, and please show us your love by following us on Spotify. Thank you for listening and have a great day.